Yep, 1983, back with you another live. I had to cut this live, I had to start another live stream. Thanks to Latif for pointing that out, that my live stream that my live stream was interrupted. So I have to like start over with another live stream. But even though I look back at the live stream and it did say like something like violation or something, but I was able to end that live stream and delete that video so I won't get violated or break that policy, if you will. Because after all, we have no freedom of speech, proving what just happened earlier. So I had to take that video down and start a new live stream. But if you just missed it, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Biden has dropped out of the race, according to the news. The news just break out. Joe Biden has dropped out of the race. They want Kamala Harris to be. They want Joe Biden has completely dropped out of the race, and now they're looking for a replacement to who is going to run as president. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if that means that Donald J. Trump is automatically going to win this presidential debate, or they're going to have somebody replace Joe Biden. And if so, who is going to replace Joe Biden? One of them they want is, will come to the Democrats, they want Hillary Clinton to be the replacement. The next one is Kamala Harris. And let's see what Carly B had to say about her, who she wants to replace Joe Biden as president.
Damn, I need to call my. You got Lavami's number? Fuck, I need to get my thing downstairs. Where's my fucking followers at? I want to say one fucking thanks to you motherfuckers. I want to talk about this. Where's my followers? It's 3 a.m. over here. It's 6 a.m. and where the fuck eat the Eastern shit? I want to say this though, right? Y'all know I'm not voting, and I got my reasons why I'm not gonna vote.
There's a lot of people.
But I
There's
do
a lot of
have
people
some
that's
of
not
my
voting this year,
opinions, right?
because how much the
I feel
presidential
like
debate is
it was
in
very
2024.
selfish of Biden or the whole Democrat Party association, whatever the fuck they got going on. I feel like it's very selfish that they allow Biden. Don't talk about my wig. Don't talk about my wig. Don't talk about my to continue to run for president. I feel like they should have passed the torch to Kamala. Like this was the perfect moment for her. Like it's like right now, I don't feel like we have strong candidates. We don't have strong candidates. I feel like this would have been her perfect time to shine. We already know that she's sharp with the fucking mouth. We already know that whatever value that Biden wants, she's practically the same value. So I feel like it was a little bit selfish to not make that choice to give her this moment to run for presidency. Now, she most likely going to run for presidency in 4 years or in 8 more years, and it's going to be a little bit tougher for her. So it's like, not only is it going to be a little bit tougher for her to run for president, but it's also, again, it's going to be a little bit tougher for a black woman to run for president. So it's like, this was the perfect end to continue to run for president moment, the perfect chance, like Joe Biden, like it's like
This is Carla B. Thoughts on Joe Biden dropping the race and her wanting Kamala Harris to be the replacement
children, with his
for Joe
grandkids.
Biden.
You already made a legacy. You already became president. You did something that you always wanted to do, and that's become president. You ain't have to run for a second term. This should have been the perfect moment to give it to Kamala. And it's like, it's right now, like this.
I had to start the live stream over.
Like,
The live stream got corrupted, so I had to start over.
So, like, not. It's like, oh my gosh. Like,
this is part 2.
Why they just didn't just.
give it to Kamala Harris?
Somebody said Kamala wouldn't win unless she switched up hard. Look at the actually I think so because let's be real, right? America moment, the perfect chance, like Joe Biden. America is a big reality TV show. America is a reality TV show, and it's like I feel like it would have been so controversial for Joe Biden to step down and Kamala just take over. People would have loved it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, look at the fucking debate. That shit was like a love and hip hop show. Like, it's like it was just a love and hip hop like reunion. So it's like imagine she would have watched Trump. She shared the same values Joe Biden was gonna do. There was already everything they did this past 4 years is already setting up for the next 4 terms. So I don't know, it's just a little selfish for the whole Democrat Party to not give her this moment. Because she might not ever get this moment again. America is a big reality TV show.
You really think so, Cardi B? You really think so?
That's all I'm saying. Bro, I don't know, like, Biden right now is really moving like my pappy. Like, my pappy is only, well, you know what? I think there is a big difference between 80 and 88, because my granddaddy 88. But it's like, come on, you're in your 80s.
Right, he's 80s old. He's supposed to be tired right now.
And I don't think he's healthy for being 80 years old, because Patti LaBelle just turned 80 years old, and honey, she could sit me the fuck down.
Patti LaBelle.
Okay? Patti LaBelle is 80 years old, and she could sit me the fuck down. But you could see the difference between Patti LaBelle and Joe Biden. They're not the same type of 80 years old.
Right? They're both the same age, but
like,
one's look older than the other.
I just don't feel like he's all the way healthy, and I feel like, bro, you already built your legacy. You already became president. You already said, bro, yep. I don't know, like.
And let's bring up Patti LaBelle, shall we? How old is Patti LaBelle? How old is Patti LaBelle? How old is Patti LaBelle?
Patti LaBelle is 80 years old.
This is what Patti LaBelle looks like at 80 years old. And then let's put up a picture of Joe Biden.
Don't talk about my wig. Don't talk about my wig. Don't talk about my wig.
This is what Joe Biden looks like.
Damn. I need to call my... You got Lavami's number?
Now.
I need to get my thing downstairs.
Patti LaBelle, it's just for example, Patti LaBelle, 80 years old. Joe Biden, the exact same age. Look at the difference. Patti LaBelle at 80. Joe Biden at 80. Patti LaBelle at 80 years old. Joe Biden at 80 years old. Patti LaBelle at 80. You see? But then she wants... The problem I have with Kamala Harris is that when she was asked, do she support recreational for black people? What answer do she give us as to, do she support recreational for black people? What type of answer did she give us? Let's find out, shall we? Let's see what her answer was. Yes, yeah, we got to start over again because the live got corrupted. So we are going to start it over again. This time, try not to violate their policy. Keyword try to, because what is the policy, by the way? Well, we can't talk about politics. Is that the policy? We can't talk about. We can't talk about politics. We can't have a debate. You can't have a debate on about the president. Is that what this is? This is, or the fact that I was showing stuff about with Steve Harvey, and but all I know is that, do you think, what was Kamala Harris' answer when we come to, do she support recreational for black people? Let's see what her answer was. Okay, like I said, a lot of people want to forget their history and just vote for anybody instead of doing that research on the person they want to vote for as president to see how clean that background is. And one of them is Kamala Harris.
We have slavery. Do you support reparations for black people? Well, listen, again, we had over 200 years of slavery. We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had legalized discrimination.
We don't need a history lesson. We don't need none of that. We know this already.
We know this
Do
already.
you support reparations for black people? This is the dancing to bring you into this bad answer with a smile. This is the Democratic way.
Democratic Party.
Segregation, and now we have
Moosey, thank you for joining back. Welcome back, Moosey.
I
Moosey!
I'm gonna have to tell Sway, the remix guy, to make a beat out of this stuttering.
had
This one, she would ask, do she
legalized
support
segregation, and now
reparations
we
for
have-
black people?
Now we have still exists and is a barrier to progress. Legalized discrimination, segregation, and now we have
See?
segregation and discrimination that is not legal. Segregation and discrimination that is
She would
not
ask, do
legal.
she support reparations for black people? She never gave a straight answer.
Segregation and discrimination that is not legal but still exists. and
Do
is a
she support
barrier to
reparations for
progress.
black people?
We have disparities around.
Let's watch this. Let's watch it again.
Do you support reparations for black people? Well, listen, again, we had over 200 years of slavery. We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had legalized discrimination.
We don't need a history lesson. We don't need none of that. We know this already. Do you support reparations for black people? This is the dancing to bring you into.
It came to a point where came to a point where you see people switching sides. I'm talking about switching from being a Democrat to a Republican. It's because of what has been going on with the Democrats. Because you ever notice that they put all the blame on the Republicans, make it seem like they're this evil group, and yet they are doing the one that's doing the absolute most. Why is it that we have Joe Biden in office, and yet everything is against the American people? I mean, everything from our own jobs is against us. Our own justice system is against us. We don't even have freedom of speech due to what we just saw with our last live stream. Is which we have all over. We don't have freedom of speech. We got to like be specific of what we say or what we can't say, or if you're gonna get violated or hit with a community guideline strike by posting certain things on the internet, because we have absolutely no freedom. Even even Waking Bang Inc. Shout out to Waking Bang Inc. He had posted about his opinion about how he feel about whether or not the Trump shooting is fake or not, and he said that it is fake on TikTok and got hit with a community guideline strike. He got hit with a community guideline strike for saying that the Trump shooting was fake on TikTok. Now I'm not sure that I'm not sure that it's fake. I'm not saying that it's fake, but this is what he was saying on TikTok, and he got hit with a community guideline strike. Let's go to his. I am the stone is the builder. Let's go to one of his I don't know if he took it down or what.
So you guys remember when they were doing that experiment at CERN? What's up, y'all?
Is it when?
What's up, y'all? This is another chill spot.
I think it took it down. I remember him. He just posted that, and I don't see. I am the stone is the builder. I don't think I'll see it anymore. Hold on. God, I think I like the post. I don't know if it's still there. If it's not there, then that means that it was removed. Yep, it was removed. Yeah, it was removed. So it was like on repeat. So, cause as soon as I went on TikTok, I saw Waking Bank Inc. say that he got hit with a violation because he said that on TikTok about Trump should have been fake. And it's not there no more. See, look. That's how you know that it's not very much freedom of speech. Even they know that we had absolutely no freedom of speech. So we gotta be careful what we say. Matter of fact, even it was said, even Fox News know that they have more rights than we do, and we gotta worry about organizations like fact checkers, and it's exactly why we are glad that Joe Biden has been removed from office, so now things go back to normal. We can finally get our freedoms back, because this is one of the things that Donald Trump is fighting for us. He is fighting to get our freedom back, because he knows that we have absolutely zero freedom of speech. Even he knows that there's certain things that we can and can't not say on the internet. This is why I got hit with a violation earlier, ladies and gentlemen. I had to start this live stream over because I got hit with a violation. I got something like this, and one of the things that I said is about what we talk about now. Recognition for Black people. I showed about how there are. I showed Monique talk about how Black women being underpaid in Hollywood. Then next you know I got hit with violation. I'm not sure it's because those are copyright materials. I'm not, but all I know is that I had to start this live stream over. So here we are. And here's the proof that we have absolutely no rights, and how criminals have more rights than we do as Americans.
Clunky corporate software. What you didn't realize is that Bill Gates doesn't think of himself that way. Bill Gates doesn't think of himself as some guy who got super rich making bad software. Bill Gates thinks of himself as God, in control of the solar system. And that's why Bill Gates is now backing something called sun-dimming technology.
This is what Donald Trump was saying when it comes to these politicians using their power for evil, not good.
Risks. You thought gain-of-function research on pathogens was dangerous. Try that. But that doesn't stop Harvard University. Its scientists are testing that technology by spewing calcium carbonate dust into the atmosphere.
Bill Gates is backing the first high-altitude experiment of one radical climate change solution.
This is what these
creating a
politicians are
massive
doing to our
chemical
planet,
cloud that
y'all.
could cool the Earth.
This is what the
It's
politicians
called
doing to our
solar
planet. This is why,
geoengineering,
exactly
and
why
it's highly controversial.
Donald Trump been calling them
Something
out
like
for
this.
years
Thousands of
about their
planes will fly
corruption
very high
in
and
the
use nozzles
politics.
to inject millions
It's
of
just
tons
exactly
of
why he don't want to
light-reflecting
become
particles
president
into the
in the
stratosphere.
beginning.
It would create a thin chemical cloud of those particles around the whole planet, blocking some sunlight from reaching the surface. It would mimic a giant volcanic eruption, which we know cools the Earth.
Now, just to restate, Bill Gates is not God. Bill Gates is some kind of weird, socially awkward
Now
rich
listen
guy
to
who
what he
lives
has
in
to say
Seattle.
when
He
it comes to
doesn't
freedom
own
of
the
speech
planet,
and what we can and can't,
but
what we can
he's
and cannot
now
say
changing the
due
planet
to fact checkers
single-handedly. This is not just over
and
his yard in Seattle.
policy
This is over your
violation and
yard
community guidelines
and our
violation.
oceans and the whole planet. Now, according to Forbes, Frank Kutch, who's the project's top investigator, quote, does not know what the results might bring. Well, just experiment with the globe and find out what happens. It's cool that he's a billionaire. Michael Schellenberger is the author of Apocalypse Never, Why Environmental Alarmism Hurts Us All, which it does, as our rivers and oceans get dirtier and no one notices. Michael,
Oh yeah, we all notice it, by the way. We do notice that ocean getting dirty and
it's
dirtier.
a little alarming to think
become
that someone
undrinkable.
as myopic and out of touch and totally ideological and weird as Bill Gates thinks he's in charge of the planet. What should we be worried about here?
I mean, basically everything. I mean, when I first heard about this over 2 decades ago, this was a thought experiment. But this is real. They're really trying to do this. They've encountered opposition every step of the way. I've co-authored articles with the Harvard
He gonna say
investigator.
something
I've
about
told him
how we
personally
can't
this
say
is a terrible
certain
idea.
things or
The vast
call
majority
out
of
certain
scientists
people
disagree with this.
due
You have to remember
to
what they're proposing
them
to do is
controlling the
identical
media.
to what
It's
we
the reason
feared
why we
would
can't
occur
say
after
and
nuclear
cannot
war
say
in the
and can't say
1980s, which is
and cannot say
nuclear
on the
winter.
internet.
The idea is that you cool the planet deliberately. The effects on crops are completely.
And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you wanted to know who is responsible for all these violations and all these policy violations that we've been hit with by speaking our minds, it's because of this man right here, Bill Gates. He's the reason why we have fact checkers. He's the reason why there's a such thing as conspiracy theory. He's the reason why we can and cannot say certain things off the internet or get hit with violations and community guidelines strike or have our whole platform taken down. It's because of guys like him, Bill Gates.
Unknown. They call this an experiment, but they know that there is no way to figure out what the large-scale planetary effects of this kind of thing would be. It's grossly irresponsible. They know for a fact that they will never get international agreement on this. So they're basically trying to socialize the idea, normalize the idea, make us comfortable with an idea that should make us extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah, a guy who cuts his hair with garden shears is now trying to control the solar system. The funny thing is, anyone who notices that maybe Bill Gates has outsized control over our lives, he's immediately denounced by Snopes or one of these fraudulent fact-checking sites as a conspiracy nut. Do you think you're a conspiracy nut to have concerns about Bill Gates' hubris and ambitions?
No, I mean, this is bonkers. I mean, honestly, there are very few people, when you talk to them privately, that think this is a good idea. There's a lot of people that are very scared to speak out.
So one of these fraudulent fact-checking sites is a conspiracy nut. Do you think you're a conspiracy nut to have concerns about Bill Gates' hubris and
This is why people are afraid to speak out.
No, I mean, this is bonkers.
This is exactly why people are afraid to speak out.
There are very few people, when you talk to them privately, that think this is a good idea. There's a lot of people that are very scared to speak out publicly because Bill Gates' influence is extraordinary. He's a massive philanthropist. I think his intentions are very good. Nobody doubts he's well-intentioned. But good intentions can lead to some very bad things. The amount of hubris and arrogance involved here. We're talking about millions of farmers around the world who will be affected by this. How will they be consulted? What is the idea for how this is going to be governed? There is no plan for governance. There is no way to get agreement on this internationally. They know this. You know, Tucker, the thing is, the trends on climate change, most people don't realize they're going in the right direction. The United States has reduced its carbon emissions.
He's saying, heard what Tucker Carlson says. If anybody tries to put us out in the forefront and warn people about this, they're going to get hit with a whole bunch of violations, get hit with a whole bunch of community guideline strikes. It's exactly why some people, damn it, most people is afraid to touch on the politics. It's because they're going to afraid they're going to get hit with fact checks, going to get hit with community guideline strike, all that stuff, because of them speaking out. This is said by Tucker Carlson. It's exactly why I had to start the stream over, ladies and gentlemen. So, if you wanted to know why this live stream ended, that's the reason why. So, that's why I had to start this live stream over again. I didn't even notice it was thanks to Latif. Thanks to Latif for showing me that I got violated by YouTube. So I had to start this live stream over again. Thank you, Latif, for the heads up. So let's go back to the history.
Before we start,
This is back then. I don't know if I can show this, but this is Donald Trump. This is what Donald Trump has to say when it comes to him predicting the future about why he. And this is just an example. His own words as to why he chose not to become president. Hold on for a second.
Excuse me. I can hear all of you over there. Thank you. If you had to choose one, if it was a life and death situation, which one would you choose?
I would probably choose.
end democracy as we know it. Except
States.
I really don't believe I would run it, but I would like to see somebody as the president who could do the job, and there are very capable people in this country.
Most people who are capable are not running for office. Most men are frightened of politics today.
It is a shame, isn't it?
Yes.
It is a shame. The most capable people are not necessarily running for political office, and that is a very sad commentary
Right,
on
Lucy?
the country. They had major corporations and they had this and that, but they are not running for political office.
Yes, scary Donald Trump. Worse than Hitler, they call him, an ogre, a monster, a fascist, a white supremacist, a racist, except, of course, he isn't.
Why wouldn't someone like yourself run for political
So why
office?
do
You
we
have
want
all
to
the
run for
money that
president?
you
Why won't
possibly
he?
need. You've accomplished a
Why
great
won't he
deal,
run for
even
president?
though you are only 34. I
Since
know
back
there's
you
a
were
lot of
34
things that
years
you
old, you're
possibly can do
34.
in the years ahead. Why wouldn't you dedicate yourself to public service?
Because I think it's a very mean life. I would love and I would dedicate my life to this country, but I see it as being a mean life, and I also see it as somebody with strong views and somebody with the kind of views that are maybe a little bit unpopular, which may be right, but may be unpopular, wouldn't necessarily have a chance of getting elected against somebody with no great brain but a big smile. And that's a sad commentary for the political process.
no great brain but a big smile. How on earth, way back in 1980, did young Donald Trump know he'd be running against this man? Talk about
Joe
being
Biden.
prescient. A great gifted clairvoyance.
Television, in a strange way, has ruined that process, hasn't it?
It's hurt the process very much. I mean, the Abraham Lincolns of the world. Abraham Lincoln would probably not be electable today because of television. He was not a handsome man, and he did not smile.
Wow.
Abraham Lincoln, Ronald Reagan, and Donald Trump. They're my top three. What are yours?
Wow. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you just tuned in, Joe Biden has completely dropped out of the race. Now the question is, who is going to replace Joe Biden into office, or just going to automatically get the presidential back to Donald Trump and automatically have him win the presidential debate, because it originally was Trump versus Biden. Since Biden has been dropped out of the race, that means that Trump won, right? That's the question. Do that mean that Trump automatically won the presidential, automatically won a seat at the White House as two-time president of the United States? Let me know your thoughts. And let's take a look at the what. Let's take a look at the shade room. You already heard what Carly B had to say about it, and let's see what others had to say about it. Look, Vice President Kamala Harris is trending as social media reacts to President Joe Biden resigning from the election. Joe Biden is out. Get up, Kamala. Do you ever see what Kamala as our next president? Do you think they should make a right candidate, or do you believe that they just want a woman to be president, just to say that a woman was president of the United States? Because that's the one thing I have with that's the one problem I have with when it comes to Obama becoming president. It's because the only reason why people elected Obama in office is because of of what race he is. And I know it's sad to say that, ladies and gentlemen, but it is true. This country always based off racism. It has been and it always will be unless things have changed within within the office, aka politicians. Because even that everybody voted for Obama said that the reason why one of the reasons why they voted for Obama is because he's black. Not because not because of his views, not because he's trying to save the world, not because he wants to change the world for a better place for you and me, not because he wants the world to be how you call it corruption free, crime free, drug free. But no, just because of his skin color, because he was black. That's the reason why most people vote for Obama, because he is not white. So that's the reason why, and nobody, I guarantee you, not one person done their research on Obama. They just saw a black person on television saying that he's going to run as president, and automatically people go, I'll vote for this guy. That's because he's my skin color. Let me vote for this guy. We're sick and tired of having the same white. Every president has been white. So that's the reason why it was so easy for non-white people to vote for Obama, because they are sick and tired of having the same president being white, and white. It's exactly why people are saying Kamala Harris and not Hillary Clinton. Notice that? People rather have Kamala Harris in office than Hillary Clinton, because one of them that they wanted to go with is definitely not Kamala Harris. It is Hillary Clinton. But they want Kamala Harris. But the sister want Hillary Clinton. And I always showed y'all the reason why most people do not want Kamala Harris is to her history. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, you need to do your research as to your favorite, as to who you're going to plan on voting for as president, because everything has been well documented. Everything is in video. Everything has been written down, and everything is Googleable. Everything you can ask Siri. You can just Google it, and look at all the history of your politics before you elect them, because as you can see by the history books, it's been years and years and years since Donald Trump been warning people about how the United States is full of corruption since the 80s, since the 90s, and how he could do a better job because they don't have the business mindset, and they're just pretty much doing all this reckless spending trillions of dollars, and not one of them, and not help the economy thrives, not help us build as a society, not have us evolve, but devolve as a nation. So um from people like Tucker Carlson, even Tucker Carlson saying that we have no freedom of speech because of who in office right now, and Joe Biden has took away so much of our rights and so much of our freedoms. Is that not everybody, but most people are afraid of politics because of they're afraid they, like I said, they're afraid they're going to get hit with a whole bunch of violations and stuff like that because they don't know what to say and not to say. They come to talking about politics. That's why, like I said, I had to start over because I got hit with a violation. I don't know what I said or showed, but apparently I'm not supposed to show or say something. But that's why I have to start this live stream over. But yes, we have now known that Joe Biden has completely dropped out of the race. Ooh, okay. It said Thread said I got new followers. Okay. But despite all that, we are still going to try to touch on the topic, which is Trump has now Trump was right all along when it comes to the distorted politician. Even Bernie Sanders will tell you that the system has been corrupted for a very, very long time. It has everything to do with corporate greed, a whole lot of reckless spending, and the reason why we can't afford anything is because all this reckless spending they're doing with what it comes with these politicians. So let me bring up Bernie Sanders.
I'm just silent most of the time.
So let me bring up Bernie Sanders, where he says that there's a reason why Carly B decided not to vote, and this is exactly what Bernie Sanders was talking about. It has everything to do with corporate greed and money and reckless spending, and them spending billions and trillions of dollars. So let me bring up this video, if I can find it. And this is the reason why people do not want Joe Biden in office. For this reason.
To be official, Joe is more than welcome on this program for the entire hour, and I'll give him an extra 3 hours of uninterrupted radio time.
Let's go for Fox News.
I don't think Joe can handle a live segment on MSDNC, much less an entire hour on this program. It's pretty simple. This doesn't look good for Joe. He needs help answering basic questions. He struggles, he mumbles, he bumbles, he stumbles. He's having a hard time walking and talking. And let's not forget when
this is before they found out he got
from the teleprompter,
before they found out he got COVID.
Ron Burgundy, 4 more years, pause. Whoops. From the economy to inflation to illegal immigration to violence in the Middle East, war in Europe, to the obvious cognitive decline, it is no secret why Biden is hemorrhaging support from several usually reliable demographics. Then, of course, he's out there talking about his dear uncle that was eaten by cannibals. But anyway, I digress. But it's not stopping Democrats and strategic minds that are in the Democratic Party. James Carville's a lot of things. I've debated him, smart guy, and he's getting really pissed off. Watch.
So I hear this a lot. Young voters are just not into this. It's two candidates. One's in the 80s, one's is almost in the 80s, and they're concerned about things that Washington are politicians, and you just can't blame them for, you. All right? Are you watching what is happening in the Supreme Court? If you're 26, do you see what they're doing? First of all, they're going to
If you're 26,
that you could possibly have.
now we're gonna make it young versus old.
And Roberts, and Alito, and Gorsuch, and Thomas, and Leonard Leo, and the Heritage Foundation. If they get a hold, there will be no government left. There will be no rights left. You'll live under theocracy. You'll end up Christian nationalism. But that's all right, you little 26-year-old. You don't feel like the election's important to me. They're not addressing the issues that I care about.
Don't worry, with Joe unable to communicate effectively, Democrats are once again...
And this is exactly why people don't want to vote Kamala Harris. For this reason, they feel like she's a laughing stock. There's nothing intelligent about that woman. I don't know what Cardi B is talking about, but there's not one intelligent thing that this woman has said since she's been vice president of Joe Biden.
Rolling out, well, their not-so-secret weapon. That's right, VP Harris. And recently during a, pretty grotesque, fawning interview with Drew Barrymore, Kamala spoke out against those who dare to criticize her constant, inappropriate, weird giggling and laughing. Take a look.
You were asking me earlier about what it means to be, the first woman. And, it's funny because people still got to get used to this, right? I mean, my staff, for example, sometimes they'll show me little things that just amuse me. Like, apparently, some people love to talk about the way I laugh.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I love your laugh.
Well, let me just tell you something.
And why
I have my mother's laugh.
And let's point out why Drew Barrymore was so close to next to Kamala Harris like that. Like, what happened to 6 feet being 6 feet apart from each other? It's like damn near look like they're about to make out. That's how close they are with, of course, each other. Look.
And I grew up around a bunch of women.
That's how close they were towards each other's face. Like 2 inches away from each other.
They would sit around the kitchen and
2 inches.
drinking their coffee, telling big stories.
Look how close they are.
I'm never going to be
like that close to each other.
It's just, I'm not that person.
Now, there's really only one way to stop Kamala from laughing. Vote her out of office. That would be 189 days from now.
They said they want her out of office too.
Joe Biden to finally retire on the beach in Delaware. Maybe he'll build up his muscles and be able to pull along his beach chair. Hey, to be official, Joe is more than welcome on this program.
Not only do I want Kamala Harris out of office, but they want her to take Joe Biden along with her. That's proof that not everybody want Kamala Harris in office because of, number one, she did not give a proper answer when it comes to do she support recreational for black people, and 2, there's a lot of things that's going on in this world, and the only thing she's worried about is how people feel about her when it comes to her laugh. Not addressing the gun violence, not addressing the fentanyl crisis, not addressing the military homelessness crisis, not addressing the homelessness crisis, not addressing the cost of living crisis, not questioning none of that stuff that's going on around the world, not addressing about the Baltimore Bridge, not addressing about water, about ocean getting dirtier and dirtier because they are dumping sewers into the ocean. They're not even addressing that, but she wants to address her being criticized for her laugh. And this is exactly why most people don't want Kamala Harris in office, because this is what type of conversation she is having while the world is going down in flames. And And this is what's said by Bernie Sanders about when it comes to corruption all over the United States. And how the reason why Carly B and people like Wicked Bank Inc. decided not to vote this year.
We have a corrupt political system in which money, big money, buys elections. Billionaires right now, through super PACs, can spend as much money as they want, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars to elect the candidates who they want, who represent their interests. And when you have a corrupt political system, and I'll give you, going back to the drug companies, do you know how many paid lobbyists they have in Washington, D.C.? They got 1,700. Can you imagine? Former leaders of the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, 1,700 for 535 members of Congress. That's why you pay the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs. The railroads made record-breaking profits. And not only do we have a whole lot of derailments in this country right now, but in addition to that, despite their record-breaking profits, they could not afford to provide rail workers with one paid sick day. Can you imagine that?
Wow.
These guys do dangerous work in all kinds of weather, and the rail industry couldn't give them one day. Now, we've had some success. One of the companies is now giving them 4 days. We hope the other companies will do the same. But all of this speaks to the incredible level of corporate greed that you see all over the place. Insurance companies make huge amounts of money. 85 million of people in this country cannot afford health care, despite the fact we're spending twice as much for health care as almost any other country. So the issue is corporate greed. The issue is corrupt.
But yet, according to your president, the economy is thriving. According to your president, that's right, Joe Biden. According to your president, the economy is more stronger than ever. According to your president, we are in great progress. According to your president, the economy is more stronger than ever. He create more jobs. But according to Sanders, that's not exactly true. So where's the fact checkers on that, guys? Why there's no fact checkers when it comes to what Joe Biden's saying? Because everybody knows that everything that Joe Biden has said is a lie. So why is fact checkers not on Joe Biden's ass every time he says something? Because everything that Joe Biden said is a complete lie, especially when it comes to the economy. Especially when it comes to running from office. Because remember, he said it out of his own mouth that he wasn't even going to plan to rerun. You know, he wasn't even planning on running for second term. He said that it's going to be it was supposed to be a one done deal and that's it. He only supposed to be elected once, and that was it. But then all of a sudden he wants to get reelected for the second time. That's how much proof that Joe Biden is nothing but a big liar, and how it's exactly why people don't trust him. It's exactly why people don't feel safe with this nation, with this country, and why people don't trust politics. It's because of the example of Joe Biden and all the promises he's made as he was president of the United States, only to find out that the test results prove that is a lie. According to Maury, the doctor test results comes back saying that's a lie. So, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Biden. But matter of fact, let's read what Joe Biden has to say as to why after he got dropped. Okay, sorry, I got distracted. But shout out to Peyton. Shout out to Peyton. I'm on the shade. As soon as I walk. This I was going to show you guys on the shade room, and this is what popped up on my. Shout out to Peyton. She's a YouTuber. She's an influencer. Look at that. That's why I said I got a little bit distracted. Because I was going to go over the shade room, and this what popped up on my Instagram feed. What's up, Sid? Thanks for joining on this live stream. You're the real MVP. Hope you're doing well physically, mentally, and emotionally today, and slept like kings and cut like a king last night. Thank you for sliding through. We appreciate that. Hope you have a great time fishing. But where's your shade room at? There's the shade room.
They call them General. So
yes, they call me General Harris.
General Harris.
This is General Harris.
It's
your time.
It was so perfect. She's General
Thank you for the
Harris.
likes.
And so when she was elected Attorney General, she actually said, "You realize you're going to have to start calling me General Harris." So my feeling is that when she's President of the United States, I will call her Miss President. But until then, you're just Kamala.
All right. Okay. No, I'm Big Sister.
A big sister.
Big Sister General.
Wow. See what I mean? She is known for just telling random jokes for no reason. Even when she was with Drew Barrymore, she would stay laughing. That's has been the talk about when it comes to politics. Her being a complete laughing stock. Because every time we turn around, she's always making some type of joke, some type of funny ha-ha moment during a sad time like this. While everything is going out of whack, everybody is going broke, everybody is going to the poorhouse, everybody going homeless, everybody losing their jobs. This country is going to hellhole in the handbaskets. The country is being sent to hell in the handbasket, and yet she's sitting there laughing, giggling, like everything's sweet.
What they call Attorney General.
But I was just going to plan on showing that. That just popped up out of nowhere. Let's see.
Even people who are pushing for this to happen, it's kind of like when your grandpa.
Here's what people have to say about it.
Everybody, you gotta take his keys. You gotta take his keys. You gotta.
Van Jones become emotional, disgusting President Joe Biden resigning from the 2024 election.
Somebody, you wouldn't be here without him, and you have to take something from him. Now, this is not look. This politics is politics, but this is a human moment. Even people who are pushing for this to happen, it's kind of like when your grandpa, you gotta take the keys, and everybody, you gotta take his keys. You gotta take his keys. You gotta. And he's fighting, and everybody's so frustrated. And then you finally get the keys back. And then you just cry. Because this is somebody that you love. This is somebody that you care about.
Are you serious? Nobody's feeling that about Joe Biden. Get out of here with that, man.
And you have to take something from him. Now, this is not, look, this politics is
Who's sitting at home crying their eyes out because Joe Biden is forced to retire as president of the United States? Who is crying over that? Who is crying over Joe Biden resigning as president of the United States? Who is crying? I ain't crying. Are you crying, Moosey? Are you crying, Lateef? Are you crying, Sig? Are any of you guys crying over Joe Biden resigning as president of the United States? Are any of you guys, as this guy is right now? Dude, look, he's about to ball out crying over the loss of Joe Biden. Look at this guy.
And he's fighting. Everybody's so frustrated. And then you finally get the keys back. And then you just cry. Because this is somebody that you love. This is somebody that you care about. This is somebody who was there for you. This is somebody, you wouldn't be here without him.
Like, what the heck is this?
Now, this is not, look, this politics is politics. But this is a human moment. Even people who are pushing for this to happen, it's kind of like when your grandpa, you gotta take the keys.
I know, right? Even that's undramatic.
Take his keys. You gotta, and he's fighting, and everybody's so frustrated. And then you finally get the keys back. and then you just cry. Because this is somebody that you love. This is somebody that you
All right, what the
care
hell?
about. This is somebody who was,
What they call it.
even people who were put
This is
in
more we
this
have to say.
moment, for him, for his family, for all of us who love him, for all of us who want him to get
Not all
across
of
the
us
finish
think that
line.
way, man.
But
Not
if you're a
everybody
young
thinks
person
that way.
watching this is leadership.
That's when it comes to Joe Biden.
This is patriotism. This is what it means to put the country first, and put the party first, and put the cause first. When your arm gets tired, you let somebody else finish pitching the game. That's what Joe Biden has done, and he's done that for all of us. And so,
Get out of here
I
with
just
that.
wanna
Oh my
say, I don't
God.
know who's going to be the
This
VP,
dude's.
the
Oh my.
non-VP. I don't know anything
Are
about
you serious
politics,
right
but
now?
it's
Are
a
you
huge
serious?
moment for him, for his family, for all of us who love him, for all of us who want him to get across the finish line. But if you're a young person watching this is leadership.
Are you
This is
serious?
patriotism. This is what it means to put the country first, and put the party first, and put the cause first. When your arm gets tired, you let somebody else finish pitching the game. That's.
Do you know what this dude says? He's talking about this is what leadership looks like, young people. And this is exactly why we have no role models. This is exactly why we have no role models, because this is what we got to look up to as talk about people that are young. This is the people who they got to look up to. Somebody like that. Talk about some. Yeah, both Joe Biden is a great leader. What? This may I remind you, black man, that this is the same guy that found out about roaches through black children. This is the same guy that found out, because this is coming out of his own mouth, about how he found out about roaches, because he didn't even know roaches existed, ladies and gentlemen, up until he met black children. That's why he figured out about roaches. But yet, he's a perfect example of leadership. I know, right? Both of them is leading us to our doom. It's exactly why I haven't voted. I'm not going to vote. Even 4 years ago, I didn't even vote, because I didn't want to vote for Trump. I damn sure didn't want to vote for Biden. So I didn't even vote 4 years ago. And I'm not going to vote this year either. I'm not. I refuse. And even people like Cardi B refuse to vote for president this year, because neither of them are qualified. Where's that video of him? Matter of fact, let's go to, because everybody seems to be forgetting Joe Biden's racist history, and I was disappointed when people voted for Joe Biden, because they feel like Trump is racist. That's the only reason why people voted for Biden. Because, and how funny is it? How funny is it that the people that voted for Biden is to get Trump out of office? That's the only reason why people voted for Biden, because they want Trump out of office. But they feel like Trump is being a racist. So let's all vote for Biden just to get Trump out of office. But they forgot all about his history. Wait a minute, hold on. Trying to find that video. Hold on, find out what the video is. Alright, what's that it? Hold on, guys.
So let me get this straight. I thought the whole reason. So what do you call this?
Look at this.
Apologize for what?
Congress called for it.
Corn should apologize. He knows better. There's not
Take a look at
racist
his
bone in
history,
my
brothers
body.
and
I've
gentlemen.
been involved in civil rights my whole career. You cannot go to a 7-Eleven or a Dunkin' Donuts unless you have a slight Indian accent. I'm not joking.
Oh, no, exactly. It's a waste of time.
The world is different. There's too much unfinished business for us to just look backwards. We have to look to the future.
I know Joe.
So everybody know Joe history.
We know Joe. But most importantly, Joe knows us.
That's right. And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand.
Oh yeah, this is it. This is it right here.
I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap. Even calls.
Wow, you heard that? You heard that, right? This was said about black children and how he found out about roaches, about having black children crawling on his lap. This is your leader, by the way, black man. This is your leader, by the way, black man. That you said that it's an appropriate leader for the young folks. This is your leader, black man. Him saying that about children, black children, and how he found out about roaches.
And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
Even call centers.
Oh my God.
Even call centers, which...
But black man, you wanted Joe Biden in office so bad. You want the same person in office so bad, and yet you wondering why we are still dealing with racism. And you wonder why we're still dealing with injustice when it comes to black people. Because you want the same guy, that same guy you're talking about is a great leader to the young folks. You want that guy in office. It's exactly why I said we have absolutely no role model, because this is a perfect example of how we have no role models, because he wants Joe Biden in office knowing that how he feels about black people. I only voted like a couple of times. One time I voted, is I had to say it, guys. I did vote for Barack Obama. Yes, I did vote for Barack Obama. That's my first president that I voted for, and this isn't going to be, and trust me, it's going to be my last, because I'm not doing this anymore. Because all this, yeah, let's vote for Obama because he's black, and he said that he's going to make change and he's going to bring hope, and the next thing you know, as soon as he got into office, people to Chicago, especially his own hometown, Chicago, went to a complete shit. Even people in Chicago call him the worst president of all time. There's people from Chicago saying that. I don't know if the video's still up there still, but let's find out. It's still there. Chicago. 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 I don't know. I don't think the video's still up there.
right? Maybe one even in your own home.
Well, that's right. It asked who is the best and who is the worst president since World War II. And they found the worst perceived presidents are the two most recent. Northern Virginia Bureau Chief Jeff Goldberg is in Alexandria tonight with all the reasons here and reaction, of course. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, Allison. Strong reaction, not surprisingly. A big question in this poll focused on competency, with 54% of those surveyed saying they simply do not believe the current administration is competent at running the federal government. But not surprisingly, supporters of President Obama say the majority of his problems started with the previous administration. It is undeniably a dramatic statement that many voters not only find President Obama to be a bad president, but the single worst since World War II.
The things that he's done and the choices he's made are just irresponsible.
I think it's a really tough job. I know I couldn't do it. I know half the people that make those comments couldn't do it. I have a lot of respect.
That's why everybody is afraid of politics. They know it's a hard job.
Today, President Obama tops the list of worst presidents since 1945 at 33%.
Look at this, y'all. Look at it. I want you to look at it real close. They say Barack Obama is number one when it comes to the worst president of all time. He worse than Jimmy Carter, worse than Richard Nixon, worse than W. Bush. Obama tops all of them. And guess who was the vice president when he was guess who was the vice president when he was president? Joe Biden. Joe Biden was his president, was vice president, and he was the worst president according to this chart right here. According to the people, they feel like he did do his job. He have a hidden agenda. The only thing that he did is help legalize sex marriage. It's pretty much all he did was legalize sex marriage. So hooray for the LGBTQ. But what about everybody else? Everybody else. But nope, he only cared about was making same-sex marriage legal. Look, they voted Obama the worst president of all time since 1945. And this another way. And then what makes me not vote for Biden and Trump is because number one, Biden make it clear that he is going to finish what Obama started. What makes Obama the worst president of all time. The same reason that make Obama the worst president of all time, Biden was planning on taking what Obama did and continue what Obama's plan was make him the worst president of all time. I'm like, exactly, it's their ego. Ego become president, not to actually help the environment and save the world and the planet and the people that's in it. It's for their ego. Just to simply say, I was the president of the United States. Because, ladies and gentlemen, after you become president of the United States, you get forever Secret Service walking around you forever and ever. As former president, you get Secret Service, lifetime Secret Service. So Obama got free Secret Service. So does Bush and Jimmy Carter and Richard Nixon. When they was alive, they have forever Secret Services. So that's the only benefit they got for being president. Not to help the environment, not to help the people, not to make actual good change. It's because of political, personal reasons. Just for bragging rights, just to say I was president of the United States, and that's the type of feel people got from Trump. Also, is that he wants to also brag about becoming president of the United States. He also wants that as bragging rights, saying that I was once president of the United States. So that right there is proof that Obama was the worst president of all time. And the fact that Joe Biden was able to take his spot, knowing that he was president, knowing that he was his vice president when Obama was president. Do you think that things is going to be any? Do you guys expect anything to be different when Biden, now that Biden is president, versus Obama, knowing full well that he was playing on finish off what Obama started. So guess what, ladies and gentlemen, if so, guess what's going to happen if Kamala Harris become president of the United States? Just exactly. Guess what's going to happen if Kamala Harris become president of the United States? The same way that Joe Biden became president of the United States. All they doing is carry out the plan that was set by Obama. All they're doing is finishing the job set by Obama. But like I said, make him the worst president of all time. Was exactly why people look at Joe Biden with a side eye, and wondering why Obama is following him everywhere he goes. Every time, everywhere he have a presidential debate, Barack Obama is right by his side. Even when a fellow cop got his life taken away, he wasn't even at the funeral, but instead he was out debating with Barack Obama and Bill Clinton. Ego is like a pathetic attempt to recreate God, who worked so hard behind this ego, finally work it through and become president only to play around with the land and the people. Exactly, because now he has weaponized the justice system, weaponized it, and have it turn it against Donald Trump. Not weaponize it and turn it against the criminals. Oh no 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 no! He has weaponized the criminal system in their favor and against our favor, the people. That's why they had more rights than we do. Talk about the criminals, because as soon as they commit a crime, they're right back on the streets. But if we defend them, if we defend ourselves from the criminals, then we're the ones that get long sentence in jail and find ourselves being there for a long, long time. Versus these criminals who only get who gets released on the same day, catch and release. That's exactly why Fox News said that. Fox News, by the way, said this: they have more rights and freedoms than we do. Talk about the criminals. It's exactly why our own troops is homeless. Did you know that our own troops is homeless? It's one of the part of the debate that was brought up by Donald Trump. Is that we have a military that is homeless. It's called the we don't deal with the homeless crisis right now, ladies and gentlemen. Not just for regular folks, but for the our own military that have fought and died for our freedoms. It's homeless versus the migrants that being flooded into our cities. They get hotel stays, they get jobs, they get opportunity, they get free health care, they get food stamps. But our own military is homeless. Wow. That says a lot about our president. That he'd rather have migrants in hotel rooms and housings versus our own military. Military homeless crisis.
Do you want to be a YouTuber?
Look, check this out, y'all. Our military is homeless.
So thank you, Mr. Chairman. Our military families sacrifice a lot to serve their country and to keep Americans safe. And one thing they shouldn't have to worry about is whether they're going to have a safe and affordable place to live. We provide basic housing allowance and other assistance to make sure that military families have what they need, but often that is just not enough. For example, the commander at Fort Carson in Colorado has 26,000 people working on post, but he is able to offer only 3,100 family housing units. What's available off base is often very expensive or requires a very long commute to get there, all because we simply don't have enough housing for our people. So, Secretary Wormuth, you oversee everything for the Army, from personnel to equipment. Do you think that meeting military families' housing needs is important, both for recruiting and retaining a strong military?
Absolutely, it's very important.
Okay, I agree with you. And that's why Congress created the Defense Community Infrastructure Program to help communities address, and I'm going to read, deficiencies
This was
in
this was
community
said about Forbes.
infrastructure
Breaking
supportive
news,
of a
everybody.
military
Forbes breaking news.
installation. Now, DSIP provides grants to local governments for transportation, building, and other infrastructure projects. Secretary Wormuth, would you support using this program to build more housing in communities near bases in order to help us continue, excuse me, to attract the best and brightest to serve in our military?
Senator Warren, this is a program that's run by OSD, and like you said, it's generally grants to communities. So I know we do use it for things like assessments of utilities and things like that in partnership with communities where we have our installations. I think additional authority for housing is always helpful. The real challenge, though, with housing is money. At the end of the day.
I understand that, but you don't get what you don't ask for.
Right.
So let's start with the idea of recognizing we are in a housing crisis.
Housing crisis.
And making this a priority in terms of getting funding in for housing for our military. Does that work for you?
Yes, and we're certainly trying to find, for example, with our privatized housing partners, we're trying to find more ways to help get money into that portfolio.
Okay, I'm coming to them. Let me mention one other problem here. I have concerns about the safety of the housing we provide to service members and their families.
The safety.
Now, Congress recently adopted reforms to address housing deficiencies, including requiring the DoD to create a public complaint database to put a stop to government contractors acting like slumlords and then hiding settlements when they get caught. I got that bill passed 5 years ago, 5 years, and today DoD still does not have that database up and operational.
Wow, what is that?
Worse,
What is that?
Government contractors continue to muzzle military families by requiring them to sign non-disclosure agreements, so there is no record of the mold or the broken
DNA,
windows or the water damage or the rats
paper
or any other unsafe housing conditions that military families are forced to put up with. Secretary Wormuth, do you think it is appropriate for government contractors to ask military families to stay silent in return for those companies meeting their basic obligations to provide safe housing?
We encourage our soldiers and their families to use the dispute resolution process.
Yeah, well, the part I'm worried about are the non-disclosure agreements that come out
the
of
non-disclosure
that, the
agreement.
NDAs.
NDA.
What I would say about that, Senator, is I think,
And speak of the NDA. These are the same NDA that that person was forced to sign. Remember Vince McMahon, ladies and gentlemen, he got kicked out of WWE because of all the accusations that was said by Vince McMahon involving DNA.
We appreciate
about
the dispute resolution process.
Yeah, well,
about
stay silent in return for those companies meeting their basic obligations to provide safe housing. Military families to stay silent.
Wait, hold on for a second.
Are forced to put up with. Secretary Wormuth, do you think it is appropriate for government contractors to ask military families to stay silent in return for those companies meeting their basic obligations to provide safe housing?
We encourage our soldiers and their families to use the dispute resolution process.
Yeah, well, the part I'm worried about are the non-disclosure agreements that come out of that, the NDAs.
NDA, that's his name. The NDA. Remember, Vince McMahon has forced this woman to sign an NDA to stay silent about what is going on in World Wrestling Entertainment. This one, NDA, a non-disclosure therefore, that's why Vince McMahon has to be getting in trouble because she is signing NDA not to talk about what's going on behind the scenes as far as all this stuff that Vince McMahon forces women to do behind the scenes. It's exactly why Ashley Michelle will take her own life because nobody didn't want to believe her. All the stuff that she was saying that was done to her while she was in WWE, nobody did believe her because it seemed like people is forced to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, to not say anything about what's going on in the World Wrestling Entertainment. It's exactly why Ashley Michelle has lost her life because nobody, not one person stand up for her and say this is what's happening in WWE by Vince McMahon because they signed an NDA.
Senators, I think,
Like
we
Lord John
appreciate
Laurinaitis,
the
to keep
provision
quiet.
that you put in that basically requires that their soldiers have 10 days before they're even asked to sign an NDA. And what we do is offer a lawyer that the Army will pay for to advise our
NDA.
soldiers and family members of their rights.
Why there
before
such
they
thing as an
contemplate
NDA?
signing an NDA.
I appreciate that that's better than it used to be, but it's not as good as it ought to be.
Right?
Last year's NDAA put in restrictions on the use of non-disclosure agreements. I just think we're going to have to set a much brighter line. No landlord should be able to make military families sign NDAs
Right,
in
NDAs.
exchange for providing basic housing. Period. No NDAs on that.
No
Before I
NDAs,
close, I
period.
wanna
No
say one other
NDAs,
thing, and I'll
period.
just say it quickly, and that's to
It's like I said, why there is such thing as an NDA? Why there is such thing as an NDA? To make people stay quiet about what's going on within their company? Why is there such thing as an NDA? So that's the reason why, another reason why people are forced to remain silent, not just because you get hit with whole bunch of guideline strikes, a whole bunch of I'm surprised this didn't get violated by now because I'm learning by the way that there's a certain things that you can and cannot say on the internet or get violated. That's why I understand why it's a such thing as the NDA because that's another form of keeping people silent as to putting out the truth about what's going on within the companies or corporation, I should say. Because even Bernie Sanders said that we are dealing with corporate greed when it comes to these corporations. And
you could really feel that.
And not just us regular folks are dealing with homeless crisis, because, ladies and gentlemen, we are dealing with homeless crisis, and also it's affected the military. That's the most blind moment. That's the one thing that is mind blowing. Is that not just regular folks is homeless, even the people that are serving this country is homeless. Why? Because of all those things that is signed over by Joe Biden.
That type feeling going on underneath your feet.
U.S. Air Force Staff Sergeant Britt Crawley was ready for Hurricane Florence, but he wasn't expecting this.
A good inch.
Military housing crisis, part 2.
Of water pulled up in here.
The Rock Hill native called Corvius, the private company that runs housing on the base, to take care of the issue in the converted garage playroom.
To the best of my knowledge, no one ever came and looked at it. I wasn't here, at least, if they did.
Fortunately, this experience wasn't anything like what other families have seen, like the Kilpatrick family at Army Base Fort Bragg.
When you turned on our shower head, green sludge came out of it.
In a recent
Ew,
NBC News
green sludge.
investigation, Calvin and Rachel Kilpatrick told NBC they moved to Fort Bragg a year ago. They say water was leaking from ceilings and from the air conditioning unit. There was termite damage and, worst of all, mold in the carpets and walls. Their multiple requests for repairs went to Corvius.
We kept being told to stay in our lane, but we didn't know what we were talking about.
A Reuters investigation centering around military families left in the dark
Poison
by
on the
privatized
Army
housing
base.
companies operating on U.S.
Mice,
bases
moles.
sparked a congressional investigation into the issues.
It's obviously something
Wow.
to make sure that there's a certain standard that both the Air Force side and the
Look.
the privatized community.
U.S.
housing
Armed
both
Forces.
meeting.
At Seymour Johnson Air Force Base, I ask what's happened since the military ordered all bases to conduct a 100% door-to-door review of potential issues.
We went out there, collected 139 issues related to health and safety.
And so for each one of those issues, we worked with Corvius to go back and get an action plan to address all of those issues.
That includes new customer service training across its 13 military housing installations.
If people do have issues, they do not have to suffer in silence, that they have plenty of avenues out there.
But this wasn't the case for Heather Beckstrom's family. In her only on-camera interview, Beckstrom told me that fear of retaliation kept her quiet about the health problems her children experienced while living on Fort Bragg with a toilet that was chronically overflowing with sewer water. Heather does not have medically conclusive statements from doctors that identify causes for the ailments suffered by her family. But in a private hearing, she testified to Congress saying that 3 of her 5 children suffered with different issues, including leukemia, seizures, and one born with birth defects that had to be corrected through surgery.
If I can tell my story and it makes a difference for somebody else, then I feel like I've done something.
Complaints from Fort Bragg have been at the center of a congressional investigation in which lawmakers have made no secret they are livid.
I'm infuriated by what I'm hearing today. This is disgusting.
The founder and CEO of Corvius testified at a recent Senate Armed Services Committee hearing.
We let down some of our residents. I am sorry, and we are going to fix it.
In a written statement to NBC News, the company said it was working to reduce the backlog of work orders and improve our response time to service requests. The
Department of Defense is proposing a new tenant bill of rights. It's intended
Military
to
Housing Crisis
increase the
Part 2, ladies and
accountability
gentlemen.
of privatized housing companies by putting more oversight authority in the hands of local military leaders. We are expecting the Military Family Advisory Network to release another report before the end of the month.
This is why people don't feel comfortable serving with Joe Biden, and this is exactly why everybody with Joe Biden out of office, because this is what had to deal with serving him. He doesn't give a damn about you. He doesn't even give a damn about the military, obviously. He's making known that he doesn't give a damn about the military. Why are they homeless, Joe? Why are they all homeless? And why are you rather give the homes to migrants and illegals versus your own, the people that is born and have died and protect this country, like your military, Joe Biden? Why they're homeless and not them? And yet, I'm hearing all these stories about the migrants getting hotels. They get hotels. They get jobs. They get food. They get housing. They get housing versus our own military who doesn't even have that same treatment. Homeless. Hotel, LA. This is what's happening right now, y'all.
The grand opening ceremony will take place this morning for a Skid Row high-rise designed to help the homeless. The $165 million Wingard Hotel Center Tower will be LA's largest permanent support housing project. It will be a 19-story building featuring 278 units. Each unit costs nearly $600,000.
Why not just for the veterans?
It's funded
This could be a purpose for the veterans.
Residents will enjoy an impressive list of
But
amenities,
instead, the migrants
including
get to
gym,
sit
art
there.
room, music room, and library. The second tower is set to open in about 18 months. The third tower is in the planning stages.
See? And guess who goes to pay for that, ladies and gentlemen? The taxpayers. Everything they do, they push it back onto the taxpayers. Is exactly why we are dealing with this rent crisis. Because they keep raising the rent and keep raising the cost of living. Especially they keep raising the taxes is because of the record spending they're doing, specifically with that. Because, everything they do, it's not coming out of their own pocket. Oh, no. Everything they do, it's like everything they do, it falls right on us, the taxpayers. We the one paying for it, not them. We are the one paying for it through our tax money. So, at the same time, do we get any say so in this? Do we have any say so in this? Even though we the one paying for it, do we have any say so in this? When it comes to our military having housing, do we get any say so in this? No. Hey, what's up, Nico? Thank you for joining me on this live stream. You're the real MVP. Hope you're doing well physically, mentally, and emotionally this day. And slept like a king last night. And thank you for the like. We appreciate that. And we are dealing with Joe Biden has called it quits. Joe Biden has quit the race. He is no longer a president. And they were talking about Kamala Harris being the replacement. And not everybody agrees with that. Because like I said, when it comes to recreational for black people, she doesn't even have an answer for that when it comes to recreational for black people. Talk about Kamala Harris. But you got the women, they want Kamala Harris in there just because to the simple fact that she is a woman. Not the simple fact that even Cardi B says it herself. Her and Joe Biden share the same value, which is shitty, by the way. They both share the same value, which is shitty, by the way. So that's a bad example, Cardi B, as to why we should vote for Kamala Harris. Because they both share the same value. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. What we don't agree with, by the way, you don't agree with Joe Biden. So for her to say that about Kamala Harris, that they both say they share the same value, bad example, Cardi B. Bad example. Like I say, ladies and gentlemen, the homeless crisis.
Both these latest findings indicate the problem has worsened and the number of people experiencing homelessness has grown year over year.
Year after year, this homeless crisis keeps growing.
Homelessness in Los Angeles is coming into focus. On Thursday, the 2023 Greater Los Angeles homeless count was released, revealing a 9% rise on any given night in LA County and a 10% rise in LA City. The exact numbers are roughly 75,000 people in the county and 46,000 people in the city.
We must address the crisis that we see every day, that our children are talking about at the dinner table. Why are people suffering this way?
The annual survey was done over a 3-day period in January. Volunteers counted the number of unsheltered individuals, tents, cars, and makeshift shelters. Of the people interviewed, 30% said they had a substance abuse issue and 25% said they were suffering from mental illness.
So frankly, with all that we're doing now, I'm worried that next year the count might be even larger because we do not have a way of preventing homelessness.
Keep in mind, the COVID relief and protections have gone away, and the primary cause of homelessness is economic. The number one reason why people lost their home is because they lost their job.
I think what it says to us is that there's still a lot of work to do.
Kirkpatrick Tyler is with Urban Alchemy, a nonprofit serving the unhoused population.
It's easy to look at the numbers and get discouraged, but I think what is encouraging are that there are a number of men and women on the front lines every day, like Urban Alchemy, like our other service provider partners, that are doing this work and are committed to helping our most vulnerable neighbors.
For many, they are simply being priced out of housing and have nowhere else to go. Dr. Margot Kuchel at the University of San Francisco conducted one of the most comprehensive studies on homelessness in nearly 30 years.
So what they told us is they literally had no way out. They had no transportation, no phone. Their documents had been ruined or thrown away. They had no money. If they had a car, they had no gas money. They really were stuck.
And we've been hearing from local Los Angeles leaders about today's news. For example, LA County Supervisor Janice Hahn released a statement saying it's frustrating to have many more people falling into homelessness as we invest millions of dollars into resources to get people inside. She says she's hopeful that a new partnership between the city and the county will make more of a difference. We're live in Hollywood tonight. I'm Rachel Menitoff. I'll send it back inside to both of you.
Cashback on dining.
It's that every year homelessness has gotten worse and worse, and especially when we come to the military. So that's another main reason why people want Trump in office versus Biden, because they feel better off with Trump in office versus Biden. When Trump was in office, you never hear anything about the military being homeless. Did you? Did you hear anything about the homeless crisis going on in the military when Trump is in office? Can anybody answer that? Can anybody answer what's that? What we dealing with homeless crisis with the military when Trump is in office, or anybody for that matter, or was it this bad as it is now? Now that Biden is in office, Required minds want to know. Because, like I said, even Arnold Schwarzenegger, even celebrities, is now saying that we are better off with Trump in office than versus Biden, due to economic reasons, due to financial reasons, due to safety reasons. It's the reason why we are better off with Trump in office versus Biden. From Donald Trump, from Arnold Schwarzenegger, Hulk Hogan. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget about the actor from General Hospital, who has passed away due to car theft. Somebody tried to steal some parts out of his car. He tried to stop it, and he was shot and unalive for it. All happened within a year. All what happened within this year. So that proves that even celebrities don't even feel safe under the leadership of Joe Biden. The fact that even celebrities are finding themselves getting unalive, even celebrities finding themselves houses getting robbed. Even the mayor found herself house getting invaded, violated by criminals, thanks to the lawlessness going on under Joe Biden's watch. Yeah, so now ever since Joe Biden has caught COVID, ladies and gentlemen, and yes, Joe Biden has caught COVID, it's now leave him into the most vulnerable state ever, to the point where now he's now forced to drop out of the race, and has done it, ladies and gentlemen. He is now officially dropped out of the race of 2024. Now we are guaranteed to have a new president of 2025. Guaranteed now that Joe Biden is no longer in office. But the question is, who you think should be the president of the United States? Do you want Joe or are you just like me and not planning on voting at all because you find it to be a complete joke? You find it to be a pointless, useless, because it has been run and predicted by billionaires, like Bernie Sanders says. They use billions and billions of dollars to buy elections. So let me guys know what you guys think about today's news that just dropped. Joe Biden is no longer president of the United States. And I know, ladies and gentlemen, I'm supposed to talk about TNA, Impact Wrestling, along with AEW. But like I said, there's a lot of stuff that's going to be going on lately when it comes to the presidential thing. And now, just breaking news, it just started today, a couple hours ago, not even. The news just break out about Joe Biden, being being resigned for presidency. It's now dropped out of the race because the original title of this video was supposed to be me doing the review of Slammiversary and TNA Slammiversary along with AEW pay-per-view. But since the news just break out about Joe Biden resigning as president, that's why we have to talk about it ASAP. So tomorrow we definitely going to touch in on the Impact Wrestling Slammiversary along with AEW and well as other wrestling related news that happened this past weekend, because we are busy talking about what's going on with the president, him dropping out of the race, and from we already heard what Carly B had to say about it, and Kamala Harris and all the people had to say about it, including CNN, and so I'm about to go in this live stream because I got this pickup. I got to go from Walmart. I got one more pickup I got to do with Walmart, and it's about to be closed in about an hour. So I'm about to go there right now and go pick that up before it closes. I watched the WNBA All-Star Game, AEW Collision, team that celebrated yesterday. It was crazy. Yeah, I did too. It was definitely was crazy. Only thing I didn't see was the WNBA and also I didn't see AEW. But I did see Impact TNA Slammiversary. Because like I said, there's so much stuff to watch, so much stuff to catch on, including this, by the way. So that's why I had to push this to another date, like tomorrow. But thank you guys for joining me on this live stream, including Nico, including you, Sig, including you, Latif, Detroit. Everybody here in this live stream, thank you for joining me on this live stream. You are the real MVP. Go get some good food. Remember, stay hydrated. Watch your surroundings, because we are under the influence of Joe Biden still, even though he is gone. But we still got to deal with his rules until somebody takes over and change it. It's a People Champ 1983. I'm out.